New York Yankees general manager has revealed the truth on the future of Yankees shortstop Anthony Volpe, as a lot of fans have turned on the young Yankee, with Aaron Boone also having some words and reactions to Volpe's play thus far, while Yankee fans are all looking towards Volpe to leave and to bring in the golden boy, the number one prospect, shortstop George Lombard Jr. onto this team in the near future. And we're going to break all of this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Yankees Digest. It's Chris here. We're going to jump right into things as always. If you guys are part of that 74.5% that's not subscribed, we got daily videos like this that you do not want to miss out on. All that being said, let's jump into the video. There's a lot to talk about with the Yankees. I mean, Brian Cashman addresses the media a fairly average amount for any general manager in sports, and he was asked about Anthony Volpe. Obviously, the big story yesterday and then today was that the Yankees DFA'd DJ LeMahieu. They designated him for assignment, and then today they released him from the roster. LeMahieu is now effectively an MLB free agent, and he will look to sign somewhere else to continue his MLB career. And Cashman effectively said that it just overall felt like it was time for them to make what was a very tough decision, but at the end of the day, they are solely focused on winning a World Series, and they think this is the best course of action for them to do so. So with that in mind, the New York Yankees have been trying to figure out a way to move forwards, but at the same time, a lot of fans have called into question what things are going to look like going forwards when it comes down to Anthony Volpe. Volpe's been someone who has obviously not had the hottest start to an MLB career. It's been up and down in the start, but this year has been his worst year in the MLB, and a lot of Yankee fans are concerned about this, myself included. And Cashman spoke on this, saying, "He's our shortstop. I don't forget where he was and what he was doing on the biggest stage of the game last October. Despite the twists and the turns of how this season is currently playing out, a lot of season is still left to be played. I am not counting him out. I know he's going to be part of the solution." Well, that's great that that Brian Cashman believes that. I think a lot of us don't at this point. Volpe's been up and down, but this year has not been a good season for him. He's got a 1.3 WAR thus far with 327 at-bats and a 217 batting average. He has 10 home runs and 71 hits. He's stolen 10 bases, and his base stealing is not as good this season. His OPS is around his average, a little bit higher of a 684, which is below average. The OPS plus is below average. The on-base percentage isn't great. The slugging percentage isn't great. None of the things that Volpe's doing right now are really great. He was a Gold Glover as a rookie, was a finalist in the second year, but he actually did play better fielding, but still didn't get it that year. And then this year, not a Gold Glove player at all. The fielding has not been there. It feels like there's just a lot missing from Volpe's game, and there was a lot of talk discussing this. And as Chris Kirschner mentioned, during his first two seasons, the Yankees could point to Volpe's defense and base running as two major pros in his profile as he worked to figure out his big league pitching. However, following his Gold Glove as a rookie, Volpe was an even better defender in year two. Though he was only a finalist for the American League Award, he was also a clear positive on the base paths, according to FanGraphs metrics. But in year three, Volpe has regressed defensively and on the bases. Entering into Wednesday's game, Volpe's minus 3 outs above average tied him with Pittsburgh Pirates shortstop Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, his Yankees predecessor, who was a major source of rage among New York's fan base because of his poor defense. Now, IKF is a good fielding third baseman, but as a shortstop, he was not a good fielder, which did lead to all this. And as Kirschner also mentioned, the Yankees can be defensive about Volpe, perhaps more so than any other player on the roster. After Volpe did not field a hard-hit ground ball off of the bat of Pete Alonso, that ricocheted into left field this past weekend in the Subway Series, Yankees manager Aaron Boone was asked if it was a play that his shortstop needed to knock down. At the time, hitters were batting just as .085 on ground balls hit 108 miles or harder at shortstops this season. Boone told reporters that it would have been a special play for Volpe to make it, but as he left the podium, the manager did look visibly annoyed with everything that went down, specifically with Anthony Volpe. Boone is always very pro players. It's just how he is. Part of it is because he was a baseball player for many, many years. He was in the MLB. Spent a little bit of that time with the Yankees, of course, at that home run, which is the reason why he's the manager now, even though he shouldn't be the manager. But we all know that. I've said this a million times. That's not the point of this. The point of this is Anthony Volpe is even upsetting Aaron Boone, which I think is a very big sign. I think the writing is kind of starting to get on the wall here that Anthony Volpe is not the Yankees franchise shortstop. First of all, I think he'd be better at second base, and Jazz Chisholm's better than him, so he's just run out of luck. And I think the Yankees should look for other shortstop solutions. If that means you're trading Volpe, that is what it is. If it means you're doing something with him, regardless of what that's going to be, if you're going to get a shortstop, it's going to seem like you're likely going to move Volpe anyway. So that would probably be the best course of action. But that's not going to happen this season. Brian Cashman's made it evidently clear the Yankees are not going to move Volpe, and they do have more important needs. They do need to get a third baseman more than anything. They do need to get pitching. So Volpe is not the biggest team issue right now. If he's your 9-hole hitter, it's fine for another year. You go and navigate the situation in another year from now. That's what you do. That's how you solve this problem. And frankly, is it the greatest solution in the world? No, but the Yankees have a bunch of team needs right now and are trying to win a World Series, so they kind of have to roll with the punches here and accept that Anthony Volpe is going to be here for another season at least. So from there on, the Yankees do need to navigate the rest of this situation, and it's not easy to do. I mean, just Volpe has not put up good numbers at all, and it's definitely problematic for this team. And you look at a guy like a George Lombard Jr., who has played very well in the minors, and thus far this season he's got 67 hits and 280 at-bats, which is a 239 average, a 384 on-base percentage, and a 741 OPS. He doesn't look ready for these numbers that are half in Somerset and half in Hudson Valley. Look, he's a good player, don't get me wrong. He's an excellent base runner, excellent fielder, really phenomenal base runner. Also does have some good hitting in that bat, but he just got up to Somerset, and he's still clearly adjusting. So it's not time to bring in Lombard Jr. yet. I mean, the man thus far has played, he played really well for Hudson Valley, but then he moved up to Double-A, and it's going to take a minute for him to figure the whole situation out, but he's going to figure it out, and the Yankees will likely go with Lombard Jr. in the near future. But for right now, what it seems like is Lombard will stay on ice, which is the move. He's just not ready yet. He's very young. He could wait another year or two. You could find a stopgap shortstop if you're done with Volpe after this season, which you probably should be, and it'll all work out and it'll be fine. It really will be. It's not going to be the sheer end of the world if that's what happens. Now, Kirshner also mentioned that according to StatHead's Katie Sharp, there have been 192 players, including Volpe, in MLB history who have at least 1,500 plate appearances through their age 24 season and an OPS plus below 100. Of those 192, 38 ended their careers with an OPS plus of 100 or better. Only 4 of those 38 players started their careers since 2000, and only 1 is still playing. Arizona Diamondbacks second baseman Ketel Marte, along with former outfielders Adam Jones and Melky Cabrera and ex-infielder Jose Reyes. So, completely Volpe's in a situation that he's not in an ideal spot here, to say the least. And Kirshner also mentioned that a discouraging factor for Volpe's outlook offensively is that he can't stick with an approach that works for him in the big leagues. As a rookie, his approach was to showcase his slugging potential, which helped him become the organization's #1 prospect. Volpe had 20 home runs, but he was left feeling unsatisfied about his lack of contact and made adjustments for year 2 to address it. Volpe flattened his bat path to become more of a singles hitter. That did not work, as his slugging disappeared. This year, Volpe is posting the fastest bat speeds of his career and yet still has below average hard hit rates. He has been caught in between his metrics and his approach not working for him. In April, Volpe had an open stance and a steeper swing, according to StatCast's stance and attacks angle metrics. Since then, he has closed off his stance and flattened his swing in May and June before reverting back to his initial approach in April. He can't stick to something because nothing's working, and because of that, it's making his numbers even worse. It's not a good idea, but that's the problem. Volpe's out of ideas, clearly. I mean, you look at the guys with the OPS plus, best career OPS plus for slow starters, and I mean, you see a lot of these guys like Roberto Clemente and all who ended his career in 1972. Like, so many of these guys played very, very long ago where it's hard to compare. There's very few. I mean, it's just, there's Adrian Beltre, who, again, started before the 2000s, but played for a while, and he got things going. But still, it's not, you're really banking on Volpe to turn this around at a point where it feels like him turning it around is fairly unlikely. Especially when Jazz Chisholm's going out there hyping up George Lombard Jr., saying, when you sit there and watch this kid that's 19 years old make every play on defense, barrel up every pitch that he's supposed to barrel up, you can't wait until he gets to the big leagues. So Jazz Chisholm, who wants to be with the Yankees long term, is being very honest about this whole situation. And it does feel like at this point, George Lombard Jr. is the next hope for the next franchise shortstop for the Yankees, but they do need to find a bridge guy if Volpe's not the guy, and we're going to see if they do that. Guys, what do you think they should do? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Yankees.